Wai Fong, presenting Tanjung Piai Mangrove Living Museum. Ladies and gentlemen, loud applause to Wai Fong.
Can I start now?
Yes, please.
I still remember the first time when I visited the mangrove forest. I was amazed by the beautiful mangrove trees that lies along the trails. As I walk, I see crustaceans living in the wet soils, migratory birds standing elegantly. And all of a sudden, I see something very frustrating, rubbish traps amongst the roots of the mangroves. This is concerning, as this will hinder the mangrove roots from breathing. And what made me even more frustrated is I saw the construction workers pouring the concrete into the wet soil, and this will 100% disturb the entire mangrove ecosystem. In fact, there's a deforestation carried on the site, removing all the trees just to build a mangrove gallery. Immediately, a question lingered in my mind. Does architect need to remove all the trees just to raise another structures? Can architecture and nature coexist together? Can we build architecture eco-sensitively and support the growth of the nature? If you are the architect, how would you do it? In my visions, perhaps this is how architecture and nature can coexist together. My name is Fong, and I'm a passionate architect who wants to save the mangrove forest. Tanjung Piai Mangrove Living Museum is a testament on how architecture and nature can coexist together and eventually support the growth of each other. The project location is located in Malaysia, one of the largest mangrove holding nations in the world. Yet, it is losing mangrove due to poor conservation effort. The selected site is located at southeast tip of the Malaysia. It is crucial stopover site for migratory birds. In mangrove forests, mangrove is important natural wave barrier that protect the coastline from the sea waves. They absorb 5 times more carbon dioxide than typical forests. When architects design the mangrove forest, they need to consider different characteristics of the mangrove species, such as soil types, root types, water level, humidity level, tree heights, and so on. Mangrove also provide various animal and plant species habitats that living across different forest layers. Despite its ecological importance, Tanjung Piai is having mangrove depletion due to poor construction practice, lack of visitors and attractions to sustain, and the loss of biodiversity and mangrove livelihood. Demographics show that the loss of the mangrove also has caused the loss of the mangrove craftsmanship. In order to rehabilitate the mangrove forest, a site analysis has been conducted. The main reason the site is dying is due to insufficient facilities and attraction on the site. The only attraction on the site is the monotonous trail, which doesn't invite visitors' interest to come to the mangrove forest. In order to promote public interest, various buildings have been built on dryland and wetland. At dryland area, there's a visitor museum. The treehouse station is placed strategically along the wetland trails in order to promote public engagement. Various activities is introduced to raise the public interest to come to the mangrove forest. And all the programs implemented is empowered by the local community, which utilize the resources from the mangrove forest, such as timber and fisheries, to make mangrove-related product. After process, this product will then sell to the public for rehabilitation funds. So after the site analysis, the architecture finally designed as a solution to cater the problem encountered on the site. In order not to destroy the root system and the soil, the entire building is elevated above the ground level, leaving back the ground back to the nature. In order to tackle low public interest, various activities such as eco-recreational and local cultural activities is introduced to promote public interest. To rehabilitate the mangrove forest, architecture could serve as a platform to gather the right community to carry out community-based ecological restoration effort. The design development starts with the idea of organic morphology, which try to fit the building footprints into the existing trees. Firstly, the existing improper built building is removed from the site and the site is restored to its original greenery state. Secondly, a removable trail is built around the mangrove trees to prevent the construction further damaging the wet soil. Thirdly, the building is then built in integration with the nature. At the dryland area, the building is elevated from the ground to build with minimal intervention. At the wetland area, column is punctured in between the roots of the mangrove in order not to destroy the root systems. The building is then elevated to different forest layer height in order to respond to different forest layers. After the structure is completed, the program is implemented into the building for better public engagement. Eventually, it becomes a living museum for ecological restoration. The building also designed with the concept of ecological discovery through architecture, where the architecture invites people to play, chill, have fun in the mangrove forest, and eventually learn to appreciate the nature. The building platform is designed at different forest layers in order for visitors to access to different forest floor to view different animal and plant species living across. Now, after the design process and the concept explanation, let me bring you through the visitor center and show you how a visitor can spend a day here and learn about mangrove conservation. Upon arriving at the entrance, visitors will be firstly welcomed by the mangrove sensory garden, where they can actually touch, smells, listening to the bird chirping sound by direct interaction with the mangrove plant species. At the upper level, there's an indoor exhibition gallery featuring the bird sculpture species that inhabits inside the mangrove forest, showing that mangrove forest isn't just about the mangrove trees, it consists of a rich biodiversity that forms as part of the ecosystem. At the ground floor level, there's a double volume community classroom, serves as a dedicated area for the visitor to raise their public awareness on the mangrove conservation. The hammock terrace area is an interactive platform for the children to have fun in the mangrove settings. The cafeteria is where people can mingle around. It features the use of local earth tone timber to create warm and comfortable atmosphere. The large lower window is introduced not just to introduce natural lighting and ventilation, but also to prevent moisture condensation and salt crystallization due to high humidity level and salinity level in the atmosphere. Mangrove dyeing workshop is incorporated to promote local cultures. It educates the public on the daily usage of the mangrove bulbs. Here, visitors can have a chance to dye the batik using the natural pigment extracted from the mangrove barks. The Nippon weaving workshop is promote visitors to have a chance utilizing the Nippon leaves to create their own handcraft furniture, such as hats, sittings, and so on. And all this income generated from the program will be used to relocate for ecological research. Ecological research labs serve as a dedicated space for the scientists to carry out scientific investigation and supporting ongoing conservation efforts. So, the next learning nodes will be river bed. The structure is designed along the rivers in order to respond to the water tidal level. The aerial view shows that the building is designed with minimal footprint and camouflage within the mangrove settings. During the high tide level, the water pad offers the visitor immersive and playful water experience. It offers visitors sittings while collecting the seashells, dipping their legs into the water. It also offers children jumping from one pad to another pad to cross the river. When the nights fall, visitors can choose to have a slow boat tour ride, gliding along the river, witnessing the fireflies illuminating the entire forest. The next learning nodes will be adventurous treehouse. The treehouse station is designed to revolve around the tree trunk, utilizing the tree trunk as the supporting elements. It offers a visitor adventurous platform. Visitors can choose to have skywalk or flying fox, transfer from one station to another station. The sunken observation deck allows visitors to have a close-up view of what really happens inside the mangrove roots. The column is strategically punctured in between the roots in order not to destroy the root systems. The next learning note will be hanging treehouse. It's a structure where design hanging in the middle of the air, utilizing the trees as the supporting elements. It's designed like a playground. It offers the visitor elevated experience and offering them sittings. It is a perfect resting spot for visitors to have fun and have a rest after a long trail walk. At the southern tip, there's a viewing tower designed with elongated cantilever in order to maximize the views towards the sea. It offers the visitor to have a chance to witness the migratory birds flying across the skies, eager soaring overhead while riding on a boat. The next learning notes will be observatory treehouse. It's a treehouse station that's designed to fit within the natural spread of the branches. It offers the visitor to have a chance to take photographs and a close-up view of the epiphyte plant species such as moss and ferns that inhabits on the mangrove branches. The journey of discovery ended with the mangrove incubator. It's a structure designed to protect the mangrove seedlings from damaging by the sea waves, ensuring their growth and survival. With one ticket, one mangrove initiatives, visitors can have a chance to easily participating in the mangrove replanting and reforestation carried out by the volunteers. And all these volunteers group is actually consists of the members of students, family members, and even environmentalists work together as a community to revitalize and restore the entire ecosystem. This section summarizes the journey of architecture, showing the transition of massing from dry land to wetland. It gradually becomes more eco-sensitively built as it goes deeper towards the mangrove forest. This video tells us the story of architecture when designed with humble can actually become a bridge to gather community to carry out community-based ecological restoration effort for mangrove rehabilitation. Plants gradually grow on top of the building and be part of the structures. The wildlife habitat gradually returned to the site, reclaiming the site as the habitats once more. The building will eventually camouflage within the mangrove forest by allowing the epiphyte plant species grow on top of its facade. Once rehabilitation is done, architecture enters a reverse cycle. It's being dismantled and transported to the new site to initiate new rehabilitation. At the end, architecture was never meant to be conquered the structure. Here, architecture doesn't shout out, it steps back, it whispers, so mangrove can step forward and birds can sing their song. With time, architecture wouldn't stand apart, but instead, it will grow together with the nature. This is why I call it Tanjung Piai Mangrove Living Museums. My name is Fong, and I am a passionate architect who wants to save the mangrove forest. Thank you.